That's wild. Not good. It's Friday, June 10th. I'm at the West End Gun Club. It's just before 0600. Came out to the range early this morning because I wanted to break in this new AICS AT chassis that I got for the Remington 700 project. I was intending to buy this chassis, but I hadn't planned on getting it this soon, but said, you know what, I got the funds. Let's just go ahead and get it done. So I ordered it from Brownells earlier this week, and it came in on Wednesday. Dropped it in on Wednesday night. Then on Thursday, I had to go find some shorter M5 by 12 screws so I can set the cheek riser lower than factory setting. Once I got those, decided to come out on Friday today to break it in. So right now we're gonna fire some rounds through it, retorque the action screws after it's all settled in, and then re-zero the gun because you need to re-zero the rifle obviously after you make any sort of changes to the gun due to the changes in barrel harmonics, action harmonics. When I ordered the AICS AT chassis from Brownells, I also ordered the PMags. The AICS AT chassis came with one AI 5-round magazine for the 308, but I ended up ordering a PMag 5-rounder and a PMag 10-rounder from Brownells as well, which is, these just came out recently. I think these ones just came out in the past couple months. These have been out for a few months, several months now. But it's a good thing that Magpul created these mags because AICS mags are quite expensive. Off the top of my head, I'm not really sure. I can't get internet access right now, but I think a 5-round AI mag is around $60 to $70, and a 10-round AI mag is somewhere around $90, $100 versus the Magpul PMags. I believe this is only $30 give or take, and this one's maybe $40 give or take. So it's a huge discount or a cut in price. What I don't know is, I took some photos, but basically a lot of people have complained, or not complained, but they've just indicated that the PMags don't hold as long around as the AI mags. So the standard 308 or the accepted 308 cartridge overall length is 0.2800 inches, but some people like to seat to lands or close to it, which means your cartridge overall length could exceed 2.889, maybe even 2.9, and obviously that won't fit in your mag. And a lot of guys who do that, who do long seating of their rounds for their gun to jump to, or to get to the land sooner, they'll modify their mags, or their AI mags, to kind of sand it down or bevel it out so it can fit the longer rounds without the nose hitting the front of the magazine. But anyway, so PMags apparently are short. They can't accommodate as long around as the AI mags. That's what I was told. But for this gun, I'm actually just running, give or take, 2.810 as the cartridge overall length. That's what I'm kind of shooting for, whether it be Sierra Match Kings, the 175s, or the Berger OTM Tactical 175s. Sierra Match Kings are very tolerant as far as distance of jumping to lands. I've noticed that in the AR with the 77 and the 80 grain Sierra Match Kings. So it's a little forgiving, and that's why I recommend Sierra Match Kings to a lot of people, because it's easier to reload or easier to load, and you don't have to worry too much about how far to the lands you are, and you don't have to start chasing the throat. So that being said, the issue of the PMags not being able to see the longer round is not an issue for me right now in this gun, because I'm going to stick to a 2.810 cartridge overall length roughly for this gun. So what I need to do now is retorque the action screws to 53 inch-pounds according to the spec in the AI instructions for this chassis. After you fire a few rounds, they want you to retorque the action screws just because the action just settled into the chassis itself. So I'm just using this 3/16 long bit that I got with a 3/8 inch drive. You need that because it needs to fit into the handle of the gun. I'm actually going to take I actually took photos of why you need this longer bit, and it's going to be in a blog article on the project update. So anyway, definitely if you get an AICS chassis for the Remington 700, you definitely need a longer 3/16 bit to go through the bottom of the trigger guard and get up into the action screw or the rear action screw. So I fired the first 5 rounds and retorqued the action screws to verify that the action screws are torqued correctly at 53 inch-pounds. I'm going to go ahead and fire some more test rounds just to get the gun settled in and test out this Magpul P-Mag. The AICS AI mag worked fine, so I'm going to try the Magpul mag, see if they feed okay. And I'm trying to use up this brass, this last 25 out of a box that I need to reload or prep and resize. And these are just 175 Sierra Match Kings, seated at 2.810. So I need to shoot these up so I can reload the brass. As you notice, with the AI mag, it actually sits flush with the AICS chassis, or sort of flush, whereas the P-Mag sticks out a little bit more. Depending on what your preferences are, this gives you a little bit more of a ledge to grasp on, so personal preference, I guess. I think I threw that left. Yeah, it's a little left. All in all, the P-Mag seems to feed good. Obviously, just shooting 5 rounds isn't a good indicator, but no failure. So we'll just keep loading them up and test firing and see if it holds up without any jams. Also, I do need to test the 10 rounder, so may as well try that. So we'll go ahead and test the 10 round P-Mag. I'll load full 10 rounds in it. I do like the feel of the plastic mag though, as far as feeding in loading the rounds. It just feels like you're not scratching, I guess, the casings or whatnot. Granted, it's not a big deal. I mean, oh well. It's a lot of metal mags out there like your AR mags, but I think it's just nice as far as precision rifles concerned to have, I guess, mags that'll be more delicate on your brass and your bullets. Anyway, we got 10 rounds loaded. Can't do an 11th round. It's pretty tight, so let's see if that's an issue. And as you can see, the 10 round mag sits a lot farther down than a 5 round mag. Let's see how this works. As far as the 10 round P-Mag is concerned, it seems like it stripped the rounds off just fine. So that's not an issue. But I'm gonna go ahead and shoot these 5 more rounds off these last Sierras, and I'm gonna go to the Burger 175s so I can get my actual 0 after I let the barrel cool down, of course. As far as the range is concerned right now, it's Friday. Actually, there is some general access to the range on Fridays for the limited members here at West End Gun Club. But being it Friday, not many people come out this early in the morning because they have work. So That's why it's a little quiet today. So as far as the range vlog is concerned, I'm still trying to feel it out. I mean, obviously when I first started it, I intended to just kind of document my range visits, kind of how I shoot, what I'm training for, or what I'm practicing. And so, I don't know, sometimes it gets a little boring, but as far as the presentation, so I try to mix things up a little bit as far as how this stuff is cut. I think last week was pretty popular because I was over at the Santa Margarita Gun Club, Camp Pendleton, for that mid-range match, and so a lot of people like that one because they got to see a NRA match. So I might have to start going to more matches because a lot of people want to see more of the matches. Because going to the range is to practice sometimes, you know, it's not really not much to show off unless it's like I got new gear, but I'm always getting new gear, so I'm always going to have some sort of content to display or to talk about, I guess, on the vlogs. I mentioned earlier that I'm not a very good bipod shooter and I'm not a very good bench shooter. The reason being is a lot of people don't realize that bipod shooting isn't as easy as it looks, because even though you have a mechanical rest, the problem is you've only got really 1 point of contact with the gun, or 2 points. You've got your shoulder and your hand on the pistol grip or the grip of the gun, whether it's like a just standard secant stock. And then the bipod's against, you know, the ground or whatnot, or the bench. See, with sling shooting, you've created multiple points of contact, because when you're prone and slung, you've got the rifle in the shoulder, your hand on the grip, you've got your forehand or your sport hand underneath the sling swivel, creating that sling tension, and that sling tension is going down to your support arm. So you've got those points of contact plus your elbows on the ground. So you're creating a lot of points on the gun, such that when it recoils into the body, it recoils in a very predictable manner. Whereas with bipod shooting, you have to worry about a lot of bipod hop, rifle hop. You have to worry about loading the bipod as far as putting pressure on it forward so the gun recoils more consistently. But since you don't have that, that support of your support hand on that rifle like you do with the slung rifle, it's a lot harder to control if you're not doing it with good mechanics. And so that's why I'm telling people all the time that prone shooting with a bipod isn't as easy as you think. It's actually a little bit more complex in some regards, because the physics is a lot different as far as how your body reacts to the gun and how the gun recoils to the body. I'm on max power. Wow, that one went high. That's not good. High and to the right. High and to the left. I'm trying to preload the bipod, and it's not happening. Okay, so I'm getting wobble on the bipod legs. This gun's not shooting well right now. Don't know if it's a chassis. It's me. Discovered one issue that was I think was causing my group issues as far as them being wild. The bipod stud that hooks up the key slots on the bottom of the stock was actually loose. So that's why I was getting this weird sensation as if the stock was kind of jittery. So the actual whole bipod is loose on the gun, and so I think that caused had an errant effect on the recoil signature, and that's why that stock felt all weird when it was coming back on my shoulder. So hopefully this will solve that issue. I shot a couple groups and they were actually grouping okay, although they were still shifting from dot to dot when I switched from dots to dot. So hopefully I'm going to shoot one more group and see if that kind of just remains a group. So the bipod, apparently this bipod stud coming loose was the problem the whole time. And so I shot one final group, and it was, this is a 3-shot group. Everything's good. I took my time shooting this group to make sure I was trying to recoil everything right. I probably didn't have to come the 0.1 mil rads over left, so I could have left it as is. So basically my zero didn't really change at all when I swapped stocks from the HS Precision Police model stock to the chassis. So I probably can come back 0.1 right. Maybe I'll just do that when I get home, but it's not a big deal. 0.1 mils is easy to account for. Anyway, as far as those groups are concerned, as you can see, it's got all wild, and I did reshot on these dots to prove that the groups are okay after the bipod stud got tightened down. So anyway, I wasted all those rounds, but I think everything is good. I'm gonna leave it as is. And I guess it's a lesson learned that make sure that you have everything tightened down. Everything's torqued to spec, and if anything's loose, obviously any little factor like that can cause problems as far as your gun's groupings. So I guess one final note before I close the vlog, I guess, as far as the project is concerned, as long as I get the chassis worked out, I think everything's good right now. I think this is how it's going to be for a while. I do want to change out the bolt handle though. As far as the bolt handle is concerned, I want to get a bigger one, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to probably get a modified bolt handle. There's a guy locally in Los Angeles who can do it, and then I'm probably going to have change out my striker, or the firing pin spring, to a tub speed lock. I had that in my other Remington 700. But other than that, I think we're good to go. I'm probably going to get a few more Magpul mags, and then this project is pretty much done for now as far as serious changes. But I'm going to blog this information on my website, okfj.net, with more details and photos. Until then, today's Friday, June 10th. It's already mid-morning, so I need to get out of here, get home, ditch my gear, and go to the office and get to work. I have noticed that the set screws do come kind of loose, and I'm not sure how tight you're supposed to put them in. Kind of want them put in too tight because I don't want to strip them, but at the same time you don't want them coming loose. So I'm not sure if I should dab Loctite, maybe purple Loctite. I'll call a Vortex to find out.